Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your October 16th to the 30th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bulls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Sagittarius, October 16th to the 30th, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Okay, these four? Yeah, these four. All right. That's intense. Guide me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides. Fantastic. I like that the number of root cards and the number of heart cards almost balance each other out. Not quite as many as at the root, but that's pretty cool. Okay, so at the bottom is our rooted self. Our left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We start off with the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. If we have Taurus within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully at our rooted self. Then we have the Lovers, which is Gemini energy. Again, if we have Gemini within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully at our root. The World, and then the Sun. Beautiful cards, intense cards, most definitely. We have the Seven of Fire, the Seven of Wands, and we have the Nine of Water, the Nine of Cups. At our heart, we have the Hanged Man, the Three of Swords, and the Page of Swords. Swords is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, amplifying the Gemini energy here, which is very interesting because Gemini is your sister sign, Sagittarius, so that comes through intensely. Then we have the Page of Wands. Sagittarius, this is you coming through as a page, as a student. And then we have the Knight of Swords, again, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, coming through once again. Okay, so let's make sure you can see everything. Okay, brilliant. Let's look at the energy we have to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. The Queen of Wands. We have to be mindful of our temper getting the best of us during this time, and also being very attracted to people who are very passionate, very fiery, but also have a really bad temper. They don't know when to stop. Like, they don't know when to stop talking. They don't know when, like... So you know when you get really mad, how you should walk away before you say something that the both of you will regret. This person doesn't know how to do this. Now, it can be that they've always been really cool with you, but there's going to be something here where they lose their temper, either around somebody who's really important to you, and you sit there and you're like, wait, that's not cool, or what the heck did you just do, type of thing. But there's something here, and you have to be mindful about this person. I do see them coming through very much as feminine energy, but it can just also be that they use a lot of emotional manipulation to get what it is that they want. Yeah. Let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Personal power. Now, this is the solar plexus chakra. And here we are starting to realize our power. We're starting to embrace our gut reaction, our gut desires towards things, our power, our purpose, our insight, our ideas. And there's a sense of, I've been waiting so long for this. I've been waiting so long to feel empowered, to feel emboldened, to move forward in the direction that I want to move in. We can see this definitely within our heart during this time, but also at our root, there is this sense of, I've denied me for so long. Like I've walked away from what I have needed to be there for everybody else, or to do everything for everybody else, or because others have needed the sacrifice. And now it is time for me to remember that I matter, I count, and it almost feels like that I exist, type of thing. And so that's going to be very powerful, very important, and very empowering for us during this time. So let's start off with the astrology of it all. On the 16th of October, we have Mercury sextile Venus. Now, this is the beautiful energy that we want to begin this time with. Actually, this is the beautiful energy that we would like to have all the time. With Mercury that controls communication and Venus that rules our hearts, there's this beautiful sense of socialness. There's this beautiful sense of beauty and connection and understanding and brilliance that is leading us forward. There's this desire to have pleasure around us, this desire to be part of something bigger, something bolder, something glorious. And this is the day to just kind of sit back, relax, embrace what we love, have a glass of wine, a glass of tea, with a cup of tea with our friends, with those that we really just enjoy being around. On the 17th of October, the sun is going to be squared Pluto. So we have this beautiful day on the 16th, and the 17th, it's not so beautiful. What happens here is that we need to be mindful of our egos during this time. We need to be mindful of our intensity, because intensity is going to be something that skyrockets within us. It's like we see things. We start to see the puzzle pieces being put together. We start to see the missing pieces towards ideas and desires that we have had before. And it's like, oh, that's what I was missing. That's what I need. That's what I want coming through. And so as we do this, we start to embrace ourselves. We start to see ourselves more and more. If we can keep the intensity and keep ourselves calm and keep the ego out of it, keep on, heading on our path without saying, oh, well, that person wants that. Well, that's what I want to do. It's kind of like if somebody's telling you, if you have kids and somebody's telling you about the school that they really want their kid to get into, and you start to think, wow, that has to be a really great school, right? So I want to get them into that school too. And you didn't think of that school before, and that school might not even be a good fit, but now you're like, no, that's the best. So that's what I want to do. That's going to be the thing. It's even like a pair of shoes. Like, somebody says, oh, I have this pair of shoes that I want to get. They're awesome. They're fantastic. And you don't like them, but you're starting to think, oh, well, if that person wants them, then I want them. So there's going to be that energy around us. And it doesn't matter where we are in our lives. There's just going to be that energy around us that if another person wants it, obviously it has to be better than what we ourselves have right now. That's not necessarily going to be the case. And we have to step back from it. And we have to say, okay, well, what's right for me? What shoes do I want? What school do I want my kids to go to? How is it that I want things to move forward? If we can ask those questions. And if not, what we're seeing here is also just a jealousy of, well, why can't I move forward the way that I want to? And we have to take our ego out of it, because divinity has us at this point right now that we need to be in, to see things, to understand things, and then to catapult ourselves forward. On the 18th of October, Jupiter comes direct. Now, Jupiter went into retrograde in June. There we go, in June. And what we're going to see here is that for 4 months, we have been going through this period of spiritual and inner awakening, this period of what do I need spiritually? What do I need inwardly to get myself to the place that I want to be? And we're starting to see that this is the time where we could be a little bit harsh on ourselves as we start to see our truth, as we start to see our honesty, as we start to see what's important to us to move us forward. Now, as Jupiter goes direct, we are having the courage and the insight to act on what it is that we've learned and what it is that we see as success. And so we start to elevate ourselves forward, we start to go after what we desire, and we take advantage of our insight, of our ideas, of what we want and what we need. And so this is going to be a time where all the lessons start to make sense. Now, we have during this time on the 18th of October a couple of things happening. We have two planets going direct. Jupiter goes direct and Mercury goes direct. And we also have Mars trine Jupiter. Both Jupiter going direct and Mars going direct are astoundingly positive. We have to be mindful of Mercury going direct, because what we have after Mercury comes out of retrograde, we have a shadow period which lasts from the 18th of October to the 2nd of November, which is excuse me, which is a bit of an intense time for us. We still have those waves, those undercurrents of Mercury retrograde coming forward. Everything isn't running as smoothly as we would like it to be. We're celebrating coming out of retrograde, but we're still kind of, it's tinging things, it's coloring things just a little bit of gray. But we also have to know the star alignment during us coming out of Mercury retrograde as Mercury comes direct is going to be quite intense. First, we have the fixed star Vindamatrix. Now, Vindamatrix is not a nice star. It's a bit of a nasty star. It brings melancholy, it brings impatience, it brings rash decisions, it brings the macabre forward, and we have to be mindful of this. We have to be mindful of the intensity and the anger that we can show towards things. We have to be mindful of getting completely wrapped up in other people's stories. It's horror stories. It's true crime, it's murder mysteries, it's horror in and of itself. But we're going to start to feel an appeal to surround ourselves with very low energy vibration things. And we have to kind of step away from them. We have to step away from them. For our own well-being, for our own intensity and power and brilliance, we have to step away from what is bringing us down and denying us during this time, or else Vindamatrix will absolutely have a field day with us. Now, we also have the fixed star Parima, which, if we don't come to this with a high energy vibration, we're going to feel very nihilistic. We're going to feel as if everything that we've worked for, everything that we've, sacrificed for means nothing. We're not going to get to the place that we want to be. Everything is harsh, everything is intense. But if we come to this with a higher energy vibration, Parima actually becomes this kind of superpower that we have. We can see the underhanded side of people. We can see the corruption, the hurt, the pain of others, and not be drawn into it. Just kind of look at it and say, you don't get to bring me down. You don't get to deny me. Then we have Mars trine Jupiter. All right, and this is another beautiful energy. It brings success. It has us moving forward with our strength, with our confidence, with this sense of the energy that we need to be able to express coming forward, the sense of sensual energy, the sense of creative energy really coming into our lives, guiding us, moving us, directing us to the place that we want to be. This is a beautiful time to meditate on our sacral chakra. This is a beautiful time to look at the negativity that's held us back from this life and from past lives, which we'll be able to focus on rather easily because of Mercury going direct, because of the shadow period, and because of the star alignment. The harshness of life, the times where things didn't go right, those can be in a forefront of our mind. But because we have Jupiter coming direct and we have Mars trine Jupiter, this balances out the intensity of Mercury direct, and we start to see ourselves being able to move forward towards what we want, towards what we need, towards what we desire within our lives. Now, on the 20th of October, the Hunter's full moon is in Aries. This is a sacred full moon in many cultures, and we'll be going into it more deeply in another reading. On the 2nd of October, Mars is squared Pluto. We are set to achieve our potential, to increase our power. We are driven, we are determined, we are energized. We also bring a lot of energy into this space. Everybody can feel like their batteries have been completely charged up. This is a time to get the job done, to go after what it is that we want, but we have to remember that our tempers can be a little bit sharp during this time, and our tongues can be a little bit sharp. We can really kind of like go for the kill when it comes to people we disagree with. So be mindful of that, because it's not going to get us the place that we want to be if we are arguing. We need to take this time and this energy and really focus on propelling ourselves forward the way that we want to. On the 26th of October, Venus is squared Neptune. Now, this is a day to circle in red. This is a day that's a little bit tricky. It really is. This is a time where it's hard for us to remember our self-worth, and for us to remember that we love ourselves, to have that self-love and to embrace, the beautiful things about us. We can be very hard on ourselves. We're going to find that we're overly sensitive, that we're having a really hard time remembering that that we matter. And remember, because this is just the planetary alignment, a lot of people have this problem during this time. Unless we're coming to things with a really high energy vibration, even if we're coming to it with a really high energy vibration, the 26th of October, it's just like, it's just kind of a crappy day. It's just a day where people are sitting there and it's like, I don't know what it is about this day, but I don't like it. It's not helping me. It just needs to be over so that I can go and soak in the tub or take a nice hot shower and just relax, calm down, and embrace peace, because that's going to be what's really important during this day, to embrace our heart chakra, to clear away negative energy. If we can, burn sage on this day, or take an Epsom salt bath, or whatever it is that we do to alleviate the negativity that starts to move us forward. That's going to be the best thing. Now, on the 28th of October, Venus is sextile Jupiter, and this washes away the doubts and the fears of Venus squared Neptune. That was on the 26th. We can find the 27th, even though we don't have a planetary alignment that day. We can find the 27th to be a little bit tricky, because we have the energy of Venus squared Neptune coming into play, kind of messing with our heads, bringing us down. That energy moves forward into the 27th, but we also have the energy of the 28th coming in, which is raising us up, telling us that we're wonderful and worth everything. And so it's going to kind of counteract each other, but we can feel like we're on a bit of a roller coaster on the 27th. So do be mindful of that. Again, with Venus sextile Jupiter, we are all about love. We're all about knowing that we are loved. We're all about telling other people that they are loved. We know our worth. This is a time of balancing. This is a time of taking that adventure, of going after what it is that we want, of also healing, of understanding the fears that we have, especially through everything that we've been through. Some of us can feel a little bit more apprehensive as we are going out into the world. We can find that there's anxiety around certain things that there was never anxiety around, and that's because we had been cut off for so long. So just to remember to be kind to ourselves, remember that self-love and self-acceptance is so important. This is a great time to indulge, but also to be mindful not to overindulge, because we can easily do that. On the 30th of October, this is such an interesting day, because we have the Sun squared Saturn. And this gives us the challenge to hone and understand our insecurities. So what's happening here is that we're absolutely aware of our insecurities. We're absolutely aware of where we don't excel. And instead of running away from it, it's looking at it head on and saying, this is a part of me. I need to accept and love every aspect of myself. And it's not going to keep me from achieving the way that I want to achieve, or succeeding the way that I want to succeed. This is a time to show how far I've come, not only to ourselves, but to others, to embrace our confidence, to embrace our success, to know that we are moving forward towards something great and something powerful. This is a time for late bloomers. And so many of us, we didn't achieve things when we perceive that everybody else is achieving everything. Everybody else is moving forward in a certain way. The boxes are being checked. And we could think, oh my gosh, I'm being left behind. But divinity has a plan for us. Our star alignment, our being, it has a plan for us. And we're not a mistake. We're not never going to get there. This is a day for the late bloomers. This is a day for those of us who have forgotten our worth, who have forgotten our power, who have forgotten our purpose. This is a time where we start to embrace and see ourselves again, and not judge ourselves off of everybody else. At our root here, we have the Hierophant. There's this beautiful sense of honor and understanding and complexity and insight and ideas. The Hierophant comes in with all the complexity of our lives and ourselves and says, this is who I am. The Hierophant in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is the Pope. And the Pope in medieval times was the most powerful person in the land. And so we start to embrace our power. We start to embrace our rituals. We start to embrace our orthodoxy. Not our religious orthodoxy, but that within us that if we turn away from a very powerful, very intense, very intrinsic part of ourselves. The Hierophant comes in and we start to see ourselves again. We start to embrace what we desire. We start to look at what we want, and it brings us to the Lovers. So as we're embracing our traditions, our understandings, our desires, our hopes, and our dreams, we're starting to fall in love with life. But this isn't falling in love with what we want to see, because we have the man here falling in love with the woman, and the woman underneath the water is the skeleton, and there's this skull right here. So she's like a siren luring him to his doom. Is he falling in love, or is he falling in lust? Is he seeing what he wants to see, or is he seeing what truly is? Is she falling in love, or is she falling in lust, or is she falling in revenge? Is she seeing what's truly there, or what she wants to see? This is a time not to focus on who we love. This is a time to focus on love in general, within our hearts, within our souls, within ourselves, knowing that there's this power of creation and ideas and intuition and desire that's moving us forward, that there's this sense of beauty and insight, and there's this sense of breaking down the barriers that once held us in place, that once denied us, that once drowned us, that once silenced us. Now we're starting to see love come forward. We're starting to see the power of what we love guide us. We're starting to see the power of our hearts be a part of us. We're starting to see our intentions and our desires moving us forward. And it starts to open up the world to us, because this is a time where, again, we're recognizing our power, we're recognizing our determination, we're recognizing our focus, and we're starting to see that the world gets to be. The world gets to be where we stand. And I know that sounds so blatantly obvious, because we stand within the world. But a lot of times we stand in the world not wanting to be seen by the world. We stand quietly in the shadows. And this is a time for us to say, but what do I want for my life? What is the passion? What is the beauty? What is the brilliance that I want to move forward in? And we're not talking about driving fancy cars, and we're not talking about fancy houses, and we're not talking about all this stuff. What we are talking about is this beautiful ability to be able to pay our bills on time, to be able to keep the heat and the electric on, to be able to put food on the table. The world is opening to us, and we're claiming our place within the world. That doesn't mean that we have to be rock stars and movie stars and all these, famous people that everybody knows their name of. What it means is that we get to be ourselves. We get to be passionate and intentional and powerful and intuitive and brilliant. And we get to say, this is the world I want. Whether it's, working at a hotel, or whether it's, running a corporation, it does not matter. It's embracing our world. It's finding a bit of joy, that even if at the end of a really hard day, when we come home, we have still, dishes to wash and people to take care of, we can sit down with that glass of wine or that cup of tea and be able to say, I've made it. I love my life. I love who I am. I love where I'm headed. And the world starts to move forward with us in the sense of love and power and insight and ideas and determination and passion. And the sun shines on us. The sun guides us forward. The sun, illuminates our path. This is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. So as we carve out our little space in the world, we start to see a radiance within us. Now, does this mean that people take us by eyes? Absolutely. Whenever the sun is in our readings, people sit there and think, why you and not me? And it's because it's our time to shine. It is just simply that. Everybody has their time to shine. Now, some people are so tarnished and so, tired and upset and despondent with the world. They never truly shine. And that's because of their connection. It's not because of anything that we can do. What we have here is this brilliance that we get to project forward. What we have here is this passion and these insights and these ideas. And it moves us to the 9 of water, the 9 of cups, where that salmon swimming against the waters, swimming against the current, getting to where it is that we absolutely positively need to be, that we are embracing and enjoying and moving forward in with insight and ideas and passion and desire. This is a time where we start to see what we wish for coming true. This is a time where we start to see our wishes mattering. Things will be said like, oh wow, I've always wanted this, or oh wow, this is so exciting. And now we start to see ourselves moving forward towards that brilliance, towards that glory, towards those ideas for us and what we want. The 9 of water comes in and washes away the hurts and the pains and disappointments, has us seeing ourselves more and more. Will we be able to see these wishes coming forward as easy as other people will? No, we won't. Others will say, wow, Sagittarius, you have things all figured out. And we're going to be thinking, what the heck are you talking about? But there's this knowing within us, knowing that as we keep on working on swimming against the current, as we keep on working on achieving our goals and our dreams, we move to the place of the 7 of fire. We know when to fight and when not to. We know what to defend and what to let go. We're not wasting our energy on every little squabble and disagreement and anger and upset, because my goodness, somebody's angry all the time and they don't get to steal our energy. We get to embrace our voice, our wisdom, our insight, our ideas. And it moves us to the hangman. We start to see things differently. Why? Because we're not wasting our energy, Sagittarius. We actually have no desire or any time for that. We see ourselves almost walking between 2 worlds during this time. The world of the earthly world, the earthly realizations, and the world of the spiritual, the heart's desire, the passion, the insight, the ideas. And this is going to be something that's really quite powerful for us as we embrace these dualities, as we embrace these realizations, these insights, this seeing of our power, this embracing of ourselves. The hangman has us seeing things differently, and our hearts are going to say, you're seeing it wrong. Well, our heads are going to say to our hearts, you're seeing it wrong. And our hearts are going to be like, no, I'm not seeing it wrong. I'm seeing it different. And that's not wrong. That's empowering. And as we start to see things differently around us, we look at the heartbreak, the pain, the disappointment, the upset, the hurts, and the scars. And we see where we've been living in that pain, where that pain has defined us for way too long. And the 3 of Swords comes into play. And the 3 of Swords is us looking at that hurt that kept us huddled in the corner, that kept us silent and held back. And we say, no more. No more am I being defined by what tried to destroy me. I'm taking that hurt and I am using it as my greatest tool forward, my tenacity, my fierceness, my identity, my ideas. So here we're taking the wounds and we're taking away the scars. No, we're not taking away the scars. We're healing the wounds. We're leaving the scars because they're our battle scars. They show that we've been through this war. But we're taking away the power that other people had to come by and just twist that sword into us again. Open up that wound anew. Now we use that sword as the weapon to fight our enemies with. We use that sword as the ideas and the voice and the insights to really propel us forward. And it brings us to the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords is being a student of our words, being a student of our mind, being a student of everything that we have learned, everything that we desire, and saying, this is where I stand. This is what I stand for. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is who I am. Period. End of discussion. Nobody gets to define me but me. We find ourselves getting messages from Spirit. Listen. We find our heart and our mind coming together. This is not a time where we're overly emotional or we're overly logical. We tend to be right in the middle, which is where we want to be, Sagittarius. Yes, we are going to have our days where we can be more emotional than others, where we can be more logical than others, but we tend to be right in the middle during this time. We're embracing our voice, we're embracing our desires, we're embracing our insights, we're embracing our ideas. We're looking at things from a way that says, I don't have the answers, but I'm sure as heck curious to see what becomes of tomorrow, how I end today, what leads me forward, what guides me. And it moves us to the Page of Wands. It moves us to us embracing an innocence. Now, this innocence isn't necessarily a naivety. It is the sense of, but this is what I love. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is my passion. These are my insights. These are my ideas. The Page of Wands comes forward. This is my fire. This is what drives me. This is what I need. And as we embrace ourselves as students, as we look at things not as having it all lined up in neat little rows, but as we look at things in a myriad of different conglomerations, as we look at things with this sense of passion and desire and insight, we start to see ourselves moving forward towards more. We start to see ourselves going after the fire that burns within us, the passion that leads us forward. We start to say, I need to embrace this aspect of me, this desire of me, this power of me, because if not now, then when? And if not me, then who? Who gets to live this dream forward that I have? And it brings us to the Knight of Swords. We defend. We defend our mind. We defend our integrity. Now we have spontaneity here. We're going to kind of go after things and want to just charge forward. We have to be a bit mindful of that always with the Knight of Swords, because the Knight of Swords is like, just go, just act, deal with the consequences later. And what we're going to see here is that we need to embrace our passion, our desire, our insight, the way that we want to move forward, the beauty that is a part of us. We cut through doubts and fears and negativity, but we start to become the heroes of our own story. We start to embrace what we want from life. We start to look at what we need. We start to look at what we know, and we start to look at what we're learning, and we put everything together to say, how do I move forward in me? What am I embracing for me? And what do I desire to change this game? Because it is a bit of a game that we're going to see during this time. We're going to see that some people play it really well. Some people, you can never trust, but again, they play the game. They know what to say, they know what to do, and the exact right times to say and do it. And so here we are moving forward in this passion, in this power, in this healing that's changing the world for us. We are changing our world. This changes our world because we are blessed. Because we are blessed and our dreams are coming forward. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is justice. Now this is Libra energy, but it's also being mindful of not being discerning with the energy that you're letting in, thinking that we have to be just to everybody, so everybody has to be treated exactly the same, even if we don't like certain people. It's not saying that we need to shun, certain people and everything like that. No, it's saying that you have the right to be discerning with the energy that you let into your life. And also there's going to be people that we're very attracted to during this time, Sagittarius, that we're going to think are really keeping the balance, keeping the harmony, but they're unrelenting in the way that they see justice, in the way that they are calling the shots. So do be mindful of that. Our subconscious chakra energy is rebirth. This is the Earth Star chakra located 6 inches below our feet. We are reborn from the earth, from our connection with, Mother Earth, and with this loving, healing energy, but also with the ferocity of the earth. We are finding ourselves flying forward. We're finding ourselves moving forward to more. It moves us then to our subconscious rooted self, and that is the Death card, Scorpio energy. If we're born on the cusp with Scorpio, or we have Scorpio within our chart, that's coming out very powerfully here. But there's also this sense of transformation. There's a sense of rebirth, of re-understanding, why we're here, what we desire, what we want, where we're headed. We can see that a lot of things are changing during this time, that our old goals aren't necessarily our new goals, and we're okay with that. We're actually empowered by that. We can have to mourn the idea of what we would have and when we would have it, and open ourselves up to the new path that divinity is having us walk. It moves us to our subconscious inner self. And it's the 9 of fire. We cannot please everybody. The 9 of fire is everybody's ideas and wants. We have to live in harmony with one another. And one cannot be better than the other. Cannot be more than the other. That's going to be very important. Remembering that your voice matters. The subconscious inner self is the 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands is celebration and success, new job opportunities, moving house, but also the sense of being able to celebrate our lives. The 4 of Wands is the minor arcana marriage card. What are we married to? Not who are we married to, but what are we married to? What is it that we're giving our all to, that we are committed to, that we love, that we're passionate about? And as we move this forward, as we embrace this, it embraces us. Like, it's almost like we feel like we're coming home. Our subconscious public arena self is the 7 of Wands. It says defense, but it's knowing when to defend and when not to fight. when to move forward and when to stand still. We're going to see here that we're not wasting energy. And that's so important to us because there's so much that we're moving towards and that we're gaining during this time that we don't want to waste our time on needless things. All right, Sagittarius, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the blessings of this time. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Sagittarius.